Fox Valley in Focus. I'm Barb Nadeau. My guests today are Lynn Dubicek. She's the Economic Development Consultant for the United City of Yorkville. And Dale Berman, he is the Village President for North Aurora. And we have a lot of interesting things to talk about today, so stay tuned.
Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better.
Underneath everything we are all people. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
North Aurora Village President Dale Berman is our first guest today. And Dale, I am very interested in talking with you about economic development. We were talking the other day about the village, and you've kind of gone over some rebranding, and I thought that was an interesting concept, so I was really looking forward to talking to you today. Thanks for being here.
These are exciting times in the village, they really are, but the rebranding, they give us an idea that we really, we're an old community, but we're mostly new. I mean, we've grown tremendously since, well, I've been there 50-some years, and we've grown from 3,000 to 17,000 in that period of time, so a lot of growth. So we wanted to, our theme before was the village with a view to the future. And we've got the river and the bridge and everything. So that's part of our new logo. And now we're saying that Crossroads on the Fox.
Crossroads on the Fox.
And, we've got the interstate going through, and we've got, 3 other major highways with 56 and 25 and 31. So we do have, a lot of traffic going through. So that's
So
our
you're
thing.
kind of at the best of both. It really is a picturesque area.
Oh, it is.
It's absolutely a
Yeah.
gorgeous village, and yet now you can say, we're also new.
That's, I think that part of it's good, and we're really still growing, and economic development is going on good. We completed 1 million square feet of space last year in the light industry, and now we've got another 400,000 square foot building starting. So there's plenty of growth in that way, and there's also a number of new businesses and new restaurants. And
Well, the whole idea of the age of the community and the setting right there on the Fox River gives it that tiny feel. Cozy feel, I guess I want to say, but as you say, you're making it the crossroads of the Fox. You're at a spot where you can look at some very unique and wonderful things like specialty restaurants and that type of thing, but then you're also going to bring in large projects. You were telling me a little bit about a hotel project that's going to get started.
Well, excuse me, we have one hotel that's been approved, and the building permit's been issued. Right across Orchard from the Auto Mall, but they haven't started construction. Now we have some other interest in another hotel with a 9,000 square foot banquet facility also. So there's all kinds of interest, and but I think and we're still building homes, not at the rate we were before, but we still have new homes going in, and the interest now seems to be in apartments. So we've got a lot going on in that area.
You kind of have to have all of it, don't you?
Oh yeah, I think and that's what's so great about the community, and I've been involved in it a long time. That we had good planning, and you need a mix of certainly the residential, but the retail and the commercial, and I think our tax rate is low, from that standpoint. But we always need more population to satisfy our retail requirements, we'll put it that way. So.
Oh, well, the developers definitely have what they need to come in to make it worth their while to come in.
Right.
But those people who live in your community, you were talking about the hotel coming in with the banquet facilities, meeting space for special events, that's something that a community needs.
Well, it's something lacking in our area, not only North Aurora, but the entire Fox Valley area, really. We don't have anything of any significant size. There are some nice the Hollywood Casino, and there's some facilities there, but other than that, we really don't have a lot of that. So it's going to be nice. Hopefully it'll come to fruition.
When you are looking at the planning and looking at the residents, the people coming in, the people who live there now, you have to think about all ages. You were telling me that you have a gated community that is
Yeah, we've got
something that's in the plans?
Yeah, we got a couple, but there's one on Orchard and Oak Street right across from Woodman's. That's 20-some acres, and that's going to be a 300 apartment units, gated community. So it looks very nice. They're getting started on that now. They'll be moving earth soon. So we're looking forward to that. It'll take a couple of years to build out, but and that's going to be some studios, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartments. So, but that seems to be what is selling right now. So, but we also have another planned development coming, Fox Valley Golf Course, which is owned by the city of Aurora in North Aurora, has been sold to a developer, and they want to build an over 55 age community. So, and they're talking about maybe 300 homes in that area. So there's lots of exciting things going on, and which is really makes it fun to be involved in.
The fact that you have to have something for every age, every price, just to make it a viable community in all aspects.
You know, that's funny you bring that up, because when I moved there, all we had was one style of home, and that was it. And now we've got everything from the smaller homes to the large $1 million homes. So it's been quite a change over that period of time. But we really do need that. There's no question about that. So.
It's very interesting to see and to be to just watch it in action. I know there's some things you can tell us, some things you can't tell us, and I do want to ask you about industrial and recreational aspects and so much more we want to talk about. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back with that right after this.
Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Everyone has friends. There's online friends, friends to go out with on a Saturday night, friends to hang out with and do nothing, friends who show up on moving day. And then there are the friends who'll be there if someone is dealing with a mental illness. Are you one of those friends?
Welcome back. We're talking with North Aurora Village President Dale Berman about economic development in the village of North Aurora. And you had mentioned specialty restaurants and, just trying to pull together the community and develop in ways that everyone's happy and everyone has the entertainment and the recreation that they want. But tell us a little bit more about these specialty businesses.
All right. Well, I think one of the finest restaurants in the area is the Turf Room, and that's where it's also our off-track betting facility. So, but they're busy all the time. It's a beautiful building, a beautiful service, and good food. The owner of that is building a new restaurant on the corner of Orchard and Oak Street. And he's going to call it Hardware. The building's up now, and he's working on it. But there's also a number of 20-foot poles out in a 1.5-acre site that he's going to grow hops on, because he's going to have a craft brewery along with his restaurant. So those poles are there, and next summer we'll see hops growing on it. So that's one of we're looking forward to that as being another good restaurant. But we have a couple good restaurants in the area that are doing very fine. So.
Well, and I think I told you before, I like to be a tourist in my own backyard, and I really think that when you have some of these special restaurants and some of these new developments in making products like the craft beers, that kind of it's fascinating and interesting, and it lets the people who live there become tourists in their own backyard. They can walk by, they can look, they can learn, and it makes it more fun to live there.
Well, there's a lot, there's really a lot going on. The new microbrewery, there is a shallow well on that property that they use for keep maintaining the water level in the pond. And when the owner found out about that, he decided to test that water and it's got a lot of good elements in it, so he wanted to use that in making his beer. So we've allowed him to put a meter on that and use that in making his beer. It's got all the iron and everything else in it. That
Everything he needs.
yeah. So it's sort of, it's funny. It's different.
What about the industrial side of things?
Well, other than the new buildings that we've built, they're all leased. They're built on spec, but they're long-term leases. We'd love to have more light industry, but it seems like that's all being done someplace else. But it's good to have the new buildings and the.
Well, you have to have the space for those buildings, for those businesses to come in, right? And
right. Well, we've got right along the tollway. We've got some good area. We still have some acreage left for development in that area, so it's good. But I think we've done a good job of balancing what we have from the standpoint of single-family homes to multi-families to retail. We've got lots of space for retail, and I think it'll come with time as our population grows, and we'll have more. But, so it's challenging, and it's really exciting. It really is.
Challenging, and I think that we've all been living through some pretty challenging times now. Do you feel like it's kind of turning around, or
yeah.
brighter skies ahead?
Very definitely. In 2008 and 9, we learned things about how banks work and how they, all kinds of things. That we've had all the people that were, all the developers that went bankrupt, all the properties that changed hands, and of course the value of the property all our properties has gone down. But we learned an awful lot and went through some really tough times, and we laid off some staff, and but from a financial standpoint, our village is in very good shape. But and for that reason, I think we're really looking at slow growth rather than trying to grow faster than we can handle it. So.
Slow and smart growth.
Yeah. So.
Wonderful. If someone is watching this program, what are the best attributes that the village brings to business? Why should they come to you? Why should?
Well, I think the best thing, and it's like our crossroads on the Fox, that we're at a point where transportation, can go through, and there's that's probably the biggest thing, and we're certainly in an area where there's lots of people looking for work or employees, so that part of it's really good. I think we have our taxes are low. We have good, inexpensive water, and I think all those things probably go to do that. We were talking about rebranding the community. One of the things we're coming up with a new flag. We've never had a flag, so we're going to have a new flag, and we're also putting some banners along the 56 and in the village. And we're going to have some different banners that, for different times of the year. One of the things we have is our North Aurora River District of NOARDA, and we formed that to supplement the use of the area around the river. So we've put a number of things in the parks. We're part of the Fox Valley Park District, so we don't have our own parks department, but we work very, very closely with them. So. There's lots of things going on. We've got a little water park there. We take the rainwater off the roof of our village hall and store it in the underground and use that so there's some good things that we've done in that area. Along with our branding, we did redo our website this last year, and it's from the standpoint of visibility. Everything that goes on in the village is available on our website. Our complete budget, salaries of everyone, and it's one of those kind of things. Any question you want to have answered, you can go to our website and find
can you give that to us?
It's North Aurora .org.
Easy.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah.
All right, and
So
that's where you'll be able to find all the information about the village, things that are happening, and there is an awful lot happening. It's really wonderful to have you here on Fox Valley in Focus. Thank you so much for being with us today. Dale Berman, the village president for North Aurora, has been our guest, and we're going to come back with Lynn Dubicek to talk about what's happening in economic development for the United City of Yorkville. Stay tuned.
Mom! Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Everyone has friends. There's online friends, friends to go out with on a Saturday night, friends to hang out with and do nothing, friends who show up on moving day. And then there are the friends who'll be there if someone is dealing with a mental illness. Are you one of those friends?
Welcome back. We're talking about economic development here on Fox Valley in Focus today, and our guest now is Lynn Dubicek. She's the economic development consultant for the United City of Yorkville. Thanks for being here, Lynn.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
And I want to ask you about this new title. You were the executive director of the EDC for many years in Yorkville, and now you've kind of shifted and you've got a different role, same
Yes.
role, but it's different. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Well, you know, I served as the executive director of the EDC for 15 years, which that was a public-private partnership. So partial part of the funding came from public dollars, this is the city and the county, and then part was raised independently from stakeholders in Yorkville. That model has changed, and due to the economy, it's really not worked as well as it could. So there was a decision made last year to move away from that model and just do a consulting position directly for the city. So I'm doing virtually the same job that I have been doing for the past 15 years. It's just directly for the city, and then the city is compensating me for my time directly. So it's worked out very well, and I'm working on pure economic development now. So where before, under the other format, I was also maintaining membership and raising dollars. My time that is spent on pure economic development at this point.
Now you can really focus.
Yes.
And the time is now. We were just talking with Dale
Yes.
Berman about how, you know, the skies are kind of clearing and things
It's
are looking brighter.
awesome.
And so it's wonderful because now you can really focus on what you love to do.
Yes, yes.
You, I thought it was interesting. Gary Galinsky, the mayor of the city, he credits you with Boomba, bringing Boomba in, bringing in Wrigley, Rush Copley. You have a lot of confidence. The people of Yorkville are very confident in what you're doing.
Well, thank you. You know, I am very determined, and Wrigley's an example that took place about 18 months ago, started working on that probably going back to 24 months ago. But when I saw that we had an opportunity to land the production of Skittles in Yorkville, I was determined to not let that leave our hands. So we were in competition at that point with Monterey, Mexico, Toronto, Canada, and Waco, Texas, where Skittles was currently being produced and still remains being produced in Waco, Texas. But they wanted to add a second location. And it was a tough competition because we were competing nationally and internationally. But we were very fortunate to, first of all, I would like to say that our mayor and our city council are wonderful. They understand the importance of business in the community. They are tremendous advocates for Yorkville, so it really helped tremendously. And then also we were able to work with the other taxing bodies that the Wrigley plant sits on. There are 9 taxing bodies that actually also understood the value of bringing a project of this magnitude to our area. And they all, including Waubonsie Community College, Yorkville School District, I mean, the Kendall County, everybody understood the value of a project like this because there is 75 new additional jobs, and they're all very high-paying jobs at that plant, which is basically getting ready to be fired up at this point. So that's where we are in the whole build out has taken place, and they're just about getting ready. They're trying out some of the equipment and getting ready later in 2016 in the spring to actually fire up and start the production of Skittles in Yorkville.
That's very exciting. It really is.
Yes.
Now, what about that? What was it that made them choose, internationally choosing to come to Yorkville? What is it that Yorkville had to offer them?
Well, first of all, they owned 300 acres in Yorkville that their existing plant, the Wrigley plant, was sitting on. But when we were competing with the other communities, one of the things, again, was all of the taxing bodies working together, because we were able to secure them a 5-year real estate tax abatement on the new plant. So on the new addition, they were given a 5-year real estate tax abatement. Also, the state of Illinois was very cooperative, working with them, getting them EDGE credits, which I know that you don't hear that very often.
No, we hear that Illinois is not business friendly.
Yes.
So this is surprising.
Yes, it was. They understood it was the state. The governor understood that it was very important to the state of Illinois, and so we were able to get them an EDGE tax credit and also training dollars for their new employees. And then one of the things that we were soared over was the workforce, that the Chicago area is so strong, and the quality of the people that we could bring to the table to work at this facility, which was a match to what Wrigley was looking for.
So they wanted a smart workforce.
Yes. And transportation-wise, it worked out well. We may not be directly on an interstate, but 47, we're just down the street from both 88 and to the south 80, so it worked for Wrigley as well. So
we also have distributorship capability, a lot of trucking that goes up and down the Route 47 area.
Yes, so and rail-wise, I mean, there's so much coming into Chicago area as well with the intermodals. So the Chicago metropolitan area in itself has a lot to offer. So it worked out very, very well, and we're very, very pleased to be able to land that production. So we are
fantastic.
Skittles, taste the rainbow in Yorkville.
Fantastic. We're talking with Lynn Dubicek. We're going to take a real quick break. I want to ask you about some of the other developments in the city. We'll be right back. Okay.
Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Everyone has friends. There's online friends, friends to go out with on a Saturday night, friends to hang out with and do nothing, friends who show up on moving day. And then there are the friends who'll be there if someone is dealing with a mental illness. Are you one of those friends?
Welcome back. We're talking with Lynn Dubicek. She's the Economic Development Consultant for the United City of Yorkville, and we've been talking about industrial growth in the city. Let's talk about businesses that we can shop at. Let's talk about Kendall Marketplace and Kendall Crossing.
So Kendall Marketplace, which is our major shopping center, over 800,000 square foot of retail, which is anchored by the Super Target, the Kohl's, the Dick's, Home Depot, and many others.
That's a great spot.
Yes.
I'm in that shopping center all the time, but there's so many open buildings and so much room to grow.
Yes, and that's a positive thing, and now we're at the point where we're going to be able to leverage that and make some very exciting changes and new additions at Kendall Marketplace. So Kendall Marketplace, original developer, no longer exists, and that property went into receivership and the bank took it back. And now, just this last year, at the end of 2015, a new developer was able to purchase it, which is great news because now we can move forward. And we've actually started working with some new retailers that are very interested in this site. One being a 25,000 square foot user, which is considered a mid-size box. So, so we're working with someone at that size, and then along with that comes, because retailers kind of like to follow each other. They know who is there and who they work well with. And so we have some other smaller retailers that would like to come alongside this 25,000 square foot user. And also, there's many outlots, and actually, I think people are very aware if they drive by that none of the outlots had been developed. So I'm happy to say that I think that that's another change that I think that we'll see is some of the outlots will start to be developed with this new owner, because now it was sort of like the project was like almost like on hold while it was going through this process of foreclosure and bank owned.
And this would be something that would be a shot in the arm too for the businesses that are already there.
Absolutely, absolutely, because the stronger that you can make the center, more people come because there's more choices, and the other businesses that are there also understand the value of that. So retailers love to be around other retailers. I mean, that's why we see what we see. So. And then I also would anticipate that we would see some restaurants coming to the site, but
That's
you know,
great
so it's going to be yes. And that site is that intersection, that area is such a strong area because of the Kendall County Courthouse being located right there, Rush Copley Medical Campus being right there. There's a lot of activity. As the seat of the county, Yorkville sort of attracts a certain amount of extra business just during the day because of being the seat of the county. So that location of that shopping center has worked out really, very, very well, and it's very desired because retailers look for three things. They look for daytime traffic, which is the people that work in that area, and there's a tremendous amount of people that work in that area. Traffic, actually, people coming in and out of that area, and those again are other top generators, and then rooftops. And rooftops is something that Yorkville has created the BUILD program, which is a program where people that choose to come to Yorkville and build a new home in Yorkville can get up to $10,000 back in a check from the city of Yorkville directly to the new resident. So that's something that a lot of other towns do not have. It sets us aside. It puts us in a position that we're able to compete with other towns because there are only X amount of people that are going to choose to build a new home. So the city has that program running, and it's been very successful. And every year we see the number of new homes inching upward. And I think that in 2016 we'll probably break the magical 100 mark of how many homes are built in the year 2016. So that's also very good news because retailers and restaurants, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for activity, new things happening. And when builders build homes, that's something else that happens is that actual building of a new home creates a lot of activity because there's people coming there to work on the construction.
All those side jobs, that all works together in the local economy. Talking about Kendall Crossing, then that's the other one. That's where the movie theater.
The movie
is.
theater,
And it's
yes.
kind of all by itself.
Yes, yes. Well, and that is at the hard corner of 34 and 47. So actually, what had happened with Kendall Crossing is the NCG theaters opened up about 2 years ago, and it's been very successful. They're doing very, very well. And though the widening of 47 and the improvements to that intersection kind of took everybody back a little bit, and people didn't get the vision of what that intersection was going to look at. So everyone realized maybe to allow that process to be completed, which it was late in 2015. So now